It's your boy VC. Let me give you some simple things here. If you guys are not paying attention to the dip, this is how we're going to play this. So currently, let's take a look at Ethereum because Ethereum has that whole movement going on. So right now, as you can see here on our Ethereum dip. So now if you're interested in getting yourself set up here, you need to be in my Discord and DM me, send me a message. But as you can see right here, we got a nice little pull back down. We stayed below our moving average, and then from this point, we hit a nice little reversal, as you can see right here on the RSI. MACD had a reversal in this position here, but this is a weak reversal. A lot of people would have been fooled by that, and it was actually a consolidation move, which is nice to see during the period coming down because it lets us know that there's volume building. Now what we were looking for here was this little buy signal that we got finally here at the 1467 mark, 1470. This is our buy zone here. As you can see, we broke above our moving average. So right now we're consolidating, but more importantly, we retested our moving average, and our MACD is staying solid green. Our RSIs are moving up. So this is where you want to get in. So simple play here with the Ethereum move would be to slide over to your margins. We're going to play an isolated margin, and I'm going to reestablish a position here simply because I want to walk through all the steps. So on this platform here, we're going to look for ETH. We're going to type in USDT because that's what we have inside our trading account for classroom purposes, and we're going to put 200 in here. Well, let's do two moves here. Let's do 100 in here, confirm it, and now you're going to see your Ethereum has USDT at 100 bucks. Now we're going to borrow on top of that USDT, which allows us a 10x. That's going to give us $900 to make its total trade 1,000. We're going to do a 7-day on there, and now that we have that, we're simply going to go back over to margins. And now that we have Ethereum in here, you now see our 100 is now 1,000. So we're about to invest $100 into Ethereum, but since we understand margins, we're going to be able to use 10 times that. Now, one thing that you want to do here is kind of like make sure the entry price would have been in this zone here, 1467, and a little bit earlier, on some adjustments. If you're really good at RSIs and advanced training, you would have got in at this zone here, which basically would have been about 1464. But either way, 1467 is a great entry, and as you can see, we broke our in our classroom, what you guys have been taught over and over and over again. If you're paying attention, I talk about this simple move 1,000 times. There it is. Now we're being supported. So let's go ahead and make that purchase. Our RSI is moving. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. And what we're looking on the 1 minute is just to see that where our entry rate is going to be. So here we have our RSI coming down. So what we're going to do here for the best possible entry, we're going to allow this last move to finish out its upward movement to see if we can get a better entry price at, let's say, 1480, 1481, etc. But you can see here it's already reversing up, meaning that we need to get into this trade. So what we're going to do here, we're going to hit stop market, and we're going to put the stop market price here at 1484, and we're going to go with 100% of our $1,000. Now I'm just doing this right now so that we can actually see where we're at here. So right now we're looking to enter at 1484. As we start to drop down, 1480. Now what I'm waiting for here is simply to see if I can get a better positioning at this mark here. So now we're looking for the 1483. Nice, we're getting our little pullback here. And once these orders fill wherever we're able to get in, so let's put a stop market here at 1481. Maybe we can get a wick or some type of power down. So we're covering this move right here, this this little fall down. Now we're sitting on this right here is actually on a 24-hour 1 day. So I'm gonna move this chart over to a 1 minute so I can see a clearer entry part. Now this would be at the bottom of this wick here. What we're trying to grab is a 1481. But as you can see, we have our little higher lows being made, but we're hoping for a wick. There we go. There we go. As we take a look back here, so you can see here's your drop right here in your MACD. Here's your RSI coming down. So we're looking to get in on this bottom here. So what you have to remember is you don't have to rush to get in. You know, you can set yourself a little bit higher in case it bounces on you. That's why I have the 1484. And now I'm waiting for this adjustment here off the moving average. So looks like it is going to test here at the 1480.106. I don't know if we can get a wick lower than that, but currently here's our MACD coming down, giving us a nice little opportunity to buy in. There we go, up, and we jumped up. So we weren't able to get our 1481, but we did have 1483. So we're kind of in that little zone there. So now obviously this is a pretty big coin, so we're not losing too much by getting into this little 1481 versus 1483. But on lower caps, you want to make sure that you're pushing the envelope to get the, you know, the 10, 5 cents, 6 cents, because that does matter. But our MACD is looking like it's having a little bit of crack here, a little bit of upward, you know, starting to adjust. Our RSI is bouncing off the 25, so we're looking pretty solid here. So we're in a good place here. Now what we're going to do is go back over to our positioning here, and we're going to make sure that our order actually went through by simply going back into margins. Now, as you can see here, we have Ethereum and we have purchased. So our debt to ratio is 90%, meaning that we have a stop where we would be in bad position if this actually went to 97%, which means you'd be liquidated. So we want to make sure that we protect ourselves with a nice stop market to save the money. So first thing we need to do is to go back over to our trading view, go over to our Ethereum, and what we're looking for here for a stop market is basically jumping over to the 5-minute. As you can tell, our lowest price entry was 1470, so this is where we would basically place our stop market at. You know, it's kind of like in this zone here, so you can safely play off the bottom of this move here. It's about 1471. So just simply to do that, to protect your money, to make sure that if it jumps on you, you're not in a bad position. Go back into trade. Now we're going to hit here, we're going to hit stop market, and we're going to go to 1471, and this is where we kind of lock and load, and we're going to put sell 1000%, and there we go. Now that we have that, we need to go to our advanced orders and take a look at what we have out there. So we have Ethereum here that we're buying at 1481. We can cancel that out. We have Ethereum that we're buying at 1484. We can cancel that out because we already got in. And then we want to double check where we have our sells at. So we have our Ethereum Classic set up already to sell at our stop loss, but we also have our profit margin here. So now that we have our Ethereum set up to where we want to sell, now we have to go back in and take a look and say, where do we take profits? Now normally on any of these moves, we're looking to get a 1x or 1.5. So that means that we'd be looking in this area up here, or some type of bonus here. We would slide over to a 15-minute chart and take a look at a little bit higher movement. So what we're looking for here is where it came from, this fall zone here. So we're looking for a 1680 move. Now you can obviously, you want to set what's called profit taking at a little bit higher rate, so that way you're getting paid for your investment, and you're picking up the money that it costs to actually do the trade, which is always 20% of what you invested. So we need to take in, we made $1,000 investment, so we need to consider taking in at least half of the 2% gain. So we need a 1% gain here. So our 1% gain move on a $1,500 trade is going to put us at $150, which means we just add the 150 right here, which would put us at 1530. So now 1530 would be our target. We take a look at our 1530, and what we're doing here is to see where the 1530 would actually be set up to win, and then we can see if that's actually on any type of resistance, or past supports or resistance, which would make it a target that we can actually hit. So as we take a look here, it does look like the last bounces over here that were support were above the 1530. So 1530 is definitely a playing number. And then right here, the resistance actually came at 1565. So it looks like the profit zone would be in between these two numbers. So 1530. Now if it was reversed, so let's say this resistance was down here, like it is right here. So our profit zones are pretty much 1506, 1530, and then 1565. So think of it as a triple, right? So if we go down here, pull up your parallel channel, right? So my parallel channel would be to get the bottom of my, and the top of my resistance, which would be here, right? So now you see this blue line, that's the in between, right? So let's get rid of this line here that has nothing to do with the parallel chains. And now we can see that by measuring this out, we have a 2 zone here, meaning that we need this to get above this 1493, because we want this middle of the parallel channel to become the support. Now this also can become the rejection, meaning that it could be, we want it on top bouncing up in between here, which would give us our 15, and here's our buy signal that just tweaked, which means we're in a really good position here on the 15-minute. But this means that using this middle to get that support also allows you to see where your true mark is, which is oddly 1530, 1528. So it looks like we'll get a wick to this. So now that this pretty much lets us know that we're in a good position here, because we have our support and our resistance across the board here. We have our support and resistance down here, and it does look like that middle part of the channel has been used for, as you can see here, for resistance or support. Actually, it broke down and then it became support again, and then it broke down below that and then rejected and came above it, and then so you see it's been, this line is pretty accurate on support and resistance. So this channel right here looks really good for us to kind of have what's called a moving range, right? An average moving range. So this does look like we are sitting at the bottom of this channel, which it basically lets us know that we're pretty good entry at 1459, this area. So this all makes sense here. As you can see, the last time that this triggered a buy at this level, the max that it actually reached was 1511. Now, we do know one thing: we are going to reach this part of this channel here. This is good odds here, so we have a 1494, and normally we get a little bit above that, so 1502. So what we're going to do, because of the market being in such a fragile state and not having what we call retail investors or anything that's kind of like pushing the market at a real high level, is that we're going to take some profit on a bounce here at 1500, just to solidify um, just a little bit of profit, so we can have, basically the cost of doing this trade covered. And how you do that's real simple. You go to stop market, and we're going to put in the price. So 1502, right? And if you don't know, what profit you want, if you just hit the 25%, that's going to put it in there. I don't want 25%. I'm looking to take my more like my 4% or my 2%. So all I'm going to do is take this number here, and I'm going to cut this down in half, which would be 0.8. That means at that mark I'm taking 12%, which is simply going to cover the cost of my trade. So that way, if I do come down and hit my stop loss or stop market, I haven't really lost money. It's just making this, kind of like a safe play, where the odds are a lot of times I can just cover my cost of doing business, and that kind of ensures that I'm not losing money when I'm making these trades, because you're not going to win all your trades. You're going to win 7 out of 10. So you have to expect to lose, at least 3 of the trades. So you need to learn how to, to make the cost of doing business up, so this way you're not taking a hit financially, and keeping yourself stronger. Remember, it's about breaking it down more or less, coming down to where it's about managing your losses so that your gains are worth more. So I hope this helped you guys out. If you're in my trading classes, or if you're in my 30-day challenge, this is the trade that we're in. If you're in the 30-day challenge, you need to reach out to me and get your indicators set up, so that you have your buy and sell indicators properly set up, so this way you can ensure yourself getting these wins. Remember, guys, we have a $300 challenge, $300, and you get yourself set up on the indicators that ensures that you're always making good entries and winning positions. You just have to follow this. So these are indicators that we have set up and adjusted, so you can make easy trades. You just buy when it says buy, sell when it says sell, and then once you master the RSI and the MACD, just puts you at a level where you can then find the best entries to maximize the gains. But this is a movement of education, and takes a little bit of time, but I don't know if it could get easier than this. As always, it's your boy VC. If you want to get in the challenge, simply leave me a comment or a message. If you're in my Discord, obviously you need to DM me if you don't have your indicator set up. There will be classes all week, and you can hop in there. I'm not doing too much in and out. I'm just setting these up, but here you go. And like always, good luck. God bless, guys.